Hi, I'm Kristen Clark-Banks, Senior Pastor of Forest Hills United Methodist Church in Brentwood, Tennessee. Every Christmas, I make what my family calls Kristen's mouth-watering homemade rolls. For 2 days, in what is arguably the busiest season of the year, my Nashville kitchen transforms into a bakery. Simple ingredients like butter, yeast, sugar, and salt line my kitchen counter as flour invariably blankets my kitchen floor. Making this bread from scratch is a labor of love I can accomplish only once a year. The process is time-consuming, consisting of several stages spanning 2 days. First, I mix the ingredients in my KitchenAid stand mixer and let the dough rise in the metal bowl for an hour. Second, I cover the dough and place it in the refrigerator to chill overnight. In the morning, I knead the dough and roll it onto the floured counter to cut it into bite-sized circles. Then I place the circles in pans to rise for several more hours. And finally, when the rolls have doubled in size and are now oven ready, I slather the dough with melted butter to bake, and again with more butter after baking is complete. When the oven timer beeps, the joy is mine as my family races into the kitchen, clamoring for a first taste of the hot, buttery, freshly baked rolls. With mouths full of bread, but also somehow smiling, our collective hands fill the bread basket with the remaining rolls. Gathered around the Christmas table, my family feasts on the bread until all are satisfied. And when the bread basket is empty, we must wait 365 days to partake again of the mouth-watering homemade bread. The crowds on the Galilean hillside feast on the bread Jesus provides. With multitudes of people numbering more than 5,000 seated on the plenteous green grass, the bread Jesus distributes to the masses never runs out. Each person eats their fill of bread until they are fully satisfied. But within a few hours, their stomachs are empty again, and in their hunger, they search for Jesus. Now, to the people's credit, they seek Jesus. They want Jesus to fill their bellies with bread once again. But Jesus notices a deeper hunger in them, one that cannot be satisfied materially. Physical bread and bodies are important to Jesus, but in this second interaction with the crowd, Jesus speaks to the deep hunger that can only be satisfied relationally. Jesus says, "Don't work for the food that does not last, but for the food that endures for eternal life, which the human one will give you." We are familiar with bread that does not last. We have feasted on the bread of possessions. We have consumed the bread of people-pleasing. We have attempted to satisfy our appetites with power and pleasure. We know how easy it is to strive endlessly for breads that do not last and cannot satisfy our deepest longings. The crowds driven to Jesus by hunger pains and growling stomachs, they seek a product to consume. And Jesus, knowing the fullness of life he brings, offers a presence to receive. Jesus says, "The bread of God is the one who comes down from heaven and gives life to the world." "Sir," they say, "give us this bread always." And Jesus responds, "I am the bread of life. Whoever comes to me will never go hungry, and whoever believes in me will never be thirsty." Friends, Jesus comes down from heaven as living manna. Jesus is the bread and the bread baker. Jesus is the provision and the provider. Jesus is the source of and sustainer of life. Jesus comes among us, inviting us into relationship. He meets us where we are in our deep hunger for connection and offers the gift of himself, his life-giving and life-sustaining presence. The sustenance Jesus supplies is unconditional love, peace that surpasses understanding, hope that endures, and joy that is our strength. The Word became flesh and moved into the neighborhood, transforming our world into his bakery, where simple ingredients like hope, peace, joy, and love come together daily to make mouth-watering bread that never runs out.